Google Classroom Session 3 Assignments. Assignments are probably the posts that you will use the most in Google Classroom. When you create an assignment, it creates it right in the class stream. There are many great features of assignments, including being able to attach any kind of document, Google Doc, or link, or video. Also, students can attach those same items to their responses, in addition to being able to create new Google Docs, forms, spreadsheets, drawings, or slides to attach, or they can add existing documents that they have as well in Google to the Google assignments that they turn in. You can create an assignment and save it as a draft and assign it as a later date, or schedule it to post at a later date if you know when you want it to post. The feedback is awesome. It's easy to grade and return work to students by giving comments and feedback that the students can see individually, and you don't have to put a red giant X on a piece of paper that you pass out. When you create an assignment, you can post it only to one class or as many classes as you have if you need to. For example, if you teach world history and you teach it period 1, period 2, and period 3, you can create an assignment and post it to all those sections. You can also post assignments to individual students. You need to be careful when doing this because you can only do this within one class. So if you want to assign a post to multiple classes but differentiate and only assign it to certain students, you either have to create the assignment in one class, an assignment to those individual students, and then reuse that post again for another class and then assign it to the individual students you want in that class. You can add a due date for the students that includes date and time. You can add topics to your assignments, would help organize and categorize assignments and make it easier for students to find. You can add all kinds of materials as we discussed before, and you're always able to edit and delete the assignment. The one thing when you're editing is sometimes if you make a copy and you want to make a copy for each student and you forget to do it initially, it won't let you do it. We'll show you this again. So let's take a look at all the different features of creating an assignment. Creating an assignment is just like creating questions and announcements, but they have a couple other features. Click the plus sign and pick Create an Assignment. You can assign the assignment to more than one class or one class. Just remember, if you want to differentiate between students, you can only assign the assignment to one class and then pick the students within that class. If I decide to assign it to more than one class, I do not have the choice. Once again, it'll tell you, post across multiple classes must be shared with all students. What you can do is create the post, the assignment with one class and assign it to the specific students, and then reuse the post and save it for another class and other specific students in one specific course. But we'll talk about reusing posts later. You can title the assignment whatever you want. So maybe it's a Thanksgiving research project. And like I said before, spell check. Red underline means you spelled it wrong, just like in other programs. Okay. For instructions, you could put as many or as few instructions as you want. Usually when I give a project, I have a checklist or a rubric or something for the students to go by that I will attach. But I will also give instructions here, like please read all the attachments. Use the rubric to guide you. Please use the links I've attached for your research. So you can put the specific links that you want the kids to use, attach them right here. So you can assign a due date. So I could pick a due date, pick a time if you want. You can pick a topic, and we'll talk more about topics in another assignment. And as I said, attach some document that you have uploaded. You can add more than one file at a time if you want to. If you've created something, a document for your students to use that you want them to fill out, notice there is something different now. In the other posts, you did not have a choice of how the students can view. Students, you have three choices when you're creating an assignment. Students can view the file, students can edit the file, and make a copy for each student. Students can view the file if you just want it to be a document that they can just see. For example, your basic instructions and guidelines, and you don't want them to edit it. If you had a document that you wanted all the students to be able to have and fill out, like for example, I have a stop motion animation planning packet that each kid's going to turn in. I would add that, and I don't want the students just to be able to view the file. I want them to be able to make a copy for each student. So each student will open a fresh copy and have their own document to work on. And my original template stays the same. If I had a document that I wanted all the students to collaborate on, which means they would all be able to edit it, I can make it so the students can edit the file. So your three choices are view, make a copy for each student, which means it is the document the students will be able to work on, and each student will have their own copy, or edit file means all the students are going to be able to edit one document. Once again, you can assign it right away. You can save it as a draft so you can keep working on it, or if you know when you want it to be assigned, but it is not right away, you can schedule it. So I can schedule the assignment for a specific date. Maybe I want to schedule it tomorrow or the next day, and click schedule. When you're in your assignment, you will see, say in your classroom, you will see save posts. And you will see that it is a scheduled post and when it is scheduled for. If you decide you want to delete it, you can simply delete it. Students view, they do not see that post and do not see that it's scheduled. Once you have scheduled a post, if you go inside of it, you can do all kinds of editing it, but it is scheduled for the time and date it is scheduled. If you decide you want it and you need to change it, you will then have to delete it. When you assign something to a student, if you forget and do not set it up for students can make a copy, many times it won't give you that option once you've already saved the assignment. So make sure when you're creating the assignment that what permission you want the students to have are the correct ones, or you'll end up having to delete the assignment and start again, which is okay, but sometimes that's what happens. Of course, assignments are awesome, but the important part is the feedback that you give to your students. Grading and feedback is quite simple. There's a student work page where you could see all the students turned in work, or you can also view individual student work as well. You can see if a student is done or not done, and if the assignment has been returned to them, and if they've resubmitted it. You can comment on students' work, and if you create something in Google Form, you can import the grades from Google Form quizzes. And if you need to export your grades out somewhere to turn them in, you can export them to a Google Sheet. Let's take a look at how you can use the grading and feedback features in Google Assignments. They work similarly for Google Questions as well. Grading and giving feedback on an assignment is really easy. All you have to do is click on the assignment, and it'll open up the grading window. By default, the assignments are worth 100 points. You can mark them ungraded or change the point total to whatever point total you want it to be. If you have assigned students by doing make a copy, you will see a copy of the document next to their names. This does not mean that they are done. You will see ones that are, right now, all these are not done. Ones that have turned in will appear up here. What students see, if they've turned something in, it'll say done. If we look at the question here, here it is, what did you do over Thanksgiving break? And in the teacher view, it looks like this. So you can also grade questions as well. Questions and assignments, answering them looks the same. Here's the one that was turned in. You can see that it says done. You can add the grade. You also can reply to student answers in the questions over here. Replying or grading an assignment looks pretty similar. You click on the name of the assignment and nobody's turned them in over here, but you can add grade here. But what you can do is you can click on their assignment and see their assignment when it opens up. And what you can do is if you click on the student's name, you see the student's individual assignment, and you can add any kind of comments or feedback you want down here in private comment. So if Kayla was missing an image on one of the documents, I could say, Kayla, please add an image to your second column. So it makes feedback really easy. The kids can't say they never saw the feedback, they never got it, they can't say they lost their document because they're right here. In the student view for the kids, notice it's a little different in the assignment because here's Thanksgiving research. They have to actually click on the assignment to see their copy of the assignment. It'll say their name and trifold brochure if that's the assignment. If you have a mobile device, such as your phone or a tablet, and you have the classroom app, you have some other options for feedback. These features are only available using the mobile app. I'm not sure why, but they are, and they're actually kind of cool. You can write notes directly on assignments using the mobile app, and you can also use Classroom's drawing and writing tools, which means you can underline, highlight text, draw shapes, leave notes, and you can do it on these type of files that the kids turn in. Google Doc files, Adobe PDF files, and other Microsoft Office documents. Differentiation is important in any classroom. Not all kids work at the same pace, have the same level of comprehension. Some students you need to challenge, and some students you need to give a little extra help to. It is one of the best things about Google Classroom is being able to assign different assignments to different students. And there isn't the stigma of saying these kids have this assignment and that kids have that assignment, because everybody can see whose assignments, their own individual assignments in their own classroom stream. So one student who may have a couple extra questions to answer is not going to know that they have that, as opposed to some student who might need a different reading assignment that's more at their reading level to help them finish a project. There is no stigma, since the students are only looking at their own class stream and cannot see what other students are assigned. So you can assign work to a whole class, a small group, or individuals. And like I said before, the assignments are only seen by the student it is assigned to. It's great for ELLs, special needs kids, gifted kids, any kind of grouping that you need to do with your students. You will read more about differentiation in Google Classroom as part of your assignment for this session. I'm going to spend a little time on the student view, because what the students see in different posts is slightly different than what you see as a teacher. I highly recommend that you add yourself to your classes as a student using an alternative Gmail address. I use my school Gmail address to be my teacher, and then I have my personal Gmail address that I add as a student. So when I am presenting the information to students, I can show them in student view. It really helps them understand how to utilize Google Classroom. So that's why I recommend doing this. Let's take a look at the student view. I want to go over the difference between the student view and the teacher view in Google Classroom. When you're in as a teacher and in your classes, you have all your different classes in here, and you do have the plus sign for create, join, or create a class. The student view is very similar. You have the plus sign, but for students, it'll just say join class. Mine says create class because I'm in here as a teacher and as a student, but I will show you my student view. In Claire Technology, I'm just a student. So notice, I have Stream, I have Classmates, which shows me all my different classmates, and I have About. And About, there's different things. I can look at my work, which is all the different things that I have that have been assigned, and I can see what's been turned in. There's different filters where I can look at, as a student, what has been assigned to me. I can see what's been returned with a grade, and I can see what's missing. So if you teach your students some of these features, the importance of About, they can't tell you, I can't find it, I don't know what's going on, because it organizes things very nicely here. Like I said, here's the student's work with the different filters. The Class Drive folder. This actually takes to the Google Classroom folder that has the assignments. Classroom, Claire Technology. Teachers also have access to this folder, but they see all the students' assignments. These are just the assignments that this student was allowed to see. That's what's on Class Drive folder. Classroom Calendar will show if there are any assignments due. Like, for example, here the question, what did you do over Thanksgiving break, is due on the 29th. Sorry, just trying to get back to where I was. Okay, Google Calendar would take them to their Google Calendar, which would show everything. Now, if you've used Google Calendar, that's up to you. It also shows the teacher. The Stream will show you if there's any work done soon, if there's topics that help the kids organize, which we'll talk about later. But one thing that's very important that kids kind of forget. Here is the teacher view of the Thanksgiving research project. I'll show you the teacher view. Sorry about the delay. Give me a second. So here is the teacher view of Thanksgiving research. Notice in Thanksgiving research, the teacher view, you see the assigned document that students each get a copy. In the student view, they just see Thanksgiving research. This is why I always say, if you have another Gmail account, a personal Gmail account, if not, make one and add yourself as a student to the class. So if you're displaying the assignments, you can show them in the student view. Because kids will look and they won't see, where's the assignment I'm supposed to do? Well, the kids can either click on the name of the assignment or click on Open. And then it will show them the document that I assigned to them, Joel War's Trifold Brochure. When they are done with it, they can simply click Turn In. And if they've turned it in, it will say Done. Once a child turns in an assignment, they can no longer edit this assignment. So if they find that they need to edit it, all they have to do is click Unsubmit. You as a teacher don't have to do anything. Unsubmit, and they will be able to edit the document again. And then they can just turn it in again. Students also have an option. You don't have to give them a document to work in. They can go to Create and create their own Google Doc, slide, sheet, or drawing that will be attached to the assignment, Or they can add something that already exists from Google Drive, a link or a file to the assignment. So just like you could add these options to your assignments, kids can add these options when they are turning in the assignments. So that's student view. Here is your assignment for Google Classroom Session 3. You're going to create an assignment. Include resources on the assignment, a link, a Google Doc, make sure you set it up that you make a copy for each student, and a rubric for grading the assignment. When I turn the assignment in, provide comments to me and a grade. Also, after reading the Shake Up Learning and Ditch the Textbook blog post, reflect on how you can use or will use Google Classroom for differentiation. To turn this in, create a Google Doc and share it with me, or you type your reflection directly into Edmodo. If you create a Google Doc and share it with me, make sure you turn the link to the document into Edmodo.